Hey everyone, and welcome to a deep dive that I'm so incredibly stoked for. We're tackling mental health today. You guys sent in some really interesting stuff from the World Health Organization, and honestly, I'm super curious to hear what you think about all this.
Well, hey there. Yeah, the WHO has a lot to say about mental health, and honestly, unpacking their perspective should be pretty enlightening for all of us, I think.
Right, like before we even hit record, I was skimming through some of this stuff, and it's definitely not your typical mental health talk. It's way more than that. And, just a heads up, this isn't about like diagnosing yourself or anything like that. This is about getting a broader picture of what mental health is.
100%. This is all about expanding what you know about mental health, kind of like giving everyone a mental health upgrade.
Totally. And speaking of upgrades, one of the first things that jumped out at me was how the WHO even defines mental health. They're not just talking about like not having a mental illness, right? It's way more well-rounded than that.
Yeah, for sure. They're really shifting the whole conversation.
Like they're saying mental health is about being able to deal with life's curveballs, not just surviving, but actually thriving, even contributing to your community, your people. Like, whoa, that's a lot more than just not being depressed.
Yeah, and I think the big takeaway there is that the WHO is basically saying mental health isn't about just fixing problems. They're talking about everybody, everywhere, having a real shot at a good life.
Wow. So it's like they're saying this whole idea that you're either mentally healthy or mentally ill is way too simplistic. It's not that black and white.
Exactly. There's a lot of gray area.
It's more like we all have these mental health needs, just like we all have physical health needs. Nobody's exempt, right?
Exactly. And that's what makes mental health something that everyone can relate to. It's not this thing just some people have to worry about. It's a universal experience.
It's true. We all go through it. And speaking of universal experiences, the WHO talks about this thing called the mental health continuum. So what exactly is that?
So think of it like this. Our physical health, it's always changing, right?
Yeah, some days are better than others, right?
Exactly. We have good days, bad days. We get sick, then we bounce back. Mental health, it's the same. It's always ebbing and flowing.
It's all like a light switch, on or off.
Right, exactly. And the mental health continuum, it's kind of a way to picture that. Imagine a spectrum, yeah. And we're all sliding around on it throughout our lives, depending on what's going on.
Oh, okay. So you're not like stuck in one spot forever. Got it.
Not at all. It's constantly shifting because there are tons of things that can impact where we land on that spectrum at any given time.
That's wild. And it actually makes me think about something else I read in what the WHO was saying. They said, even if someone doesn't have a diagnosable mental illness, doesn't mean they're not struggling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they can still have times where they're just not doing great mentally, even without a diagnosis.
Totally. Like just because you don't